Today we're gonna make chicken provencal. This is a French dish. It is so delicious and it is so easy to make. All right, so we're gonna go over the ingredients very quickly. I have 8 chicken thighs, skin on, bone in. You can use boneless, skinless, but it's better with the chicken skin. It gets really crispy, delicious. It's just so good. Now I salted this overnight. I always leave them not covered, put them in the fridge just like this. Salted beforehand. The salt penetrates the chicken better, dries it out a little bit too, so you get a better sear. If you didn't do that, it's no problem. You could just season it up with salt right before you sear it. And then in addition to that, we're gonna put on some pepper and 1 tablespoon of herbs de Provence. The other tablespoon of that, because I have 2 tablespoons here, the other remainder will be for the rest of the dish. I have a ½ cup of flour. That's just for dredging, simply for dredging the chicken, which is going to allow it to get to brown better too, help thicken our sauce just a touch. For our sauce, we have 3/4 cup of vermouth, okay, dry vermouth, and I have a ½ cup of chicken stock, okay? That is no sodium chicken stock, but you could use low sodium as well. I have 1 cup of olives. These are just a Mediterranean blend that have been marinated in olive oil. Okay, I just dried them off a little bit. Any high quality olive is fine here. I like to mix and match them just because it looks better in the dish. Shallots, I have 4 medium to large shallots that I peeled and cut in half. Shallots are so good in this dish, so I would recommend using even more if you can fit them in your pan. And we're gonna use a really large pan for this, but you can also do it in a baking dish. So I have another one, I'll just show you how I cut it. I have 4 very large artichoke hearts with their stems intact. These were marinated. These are quite hard probably to find in the store for you. If you can, they look great in the dish, but if you can't find them, just use a 12-ounce or 16-ounce jar of marinated artichokes. Just drain them, pat them dry a little bit. If you can't find them, you can use canned artichoke hearts in water. Okay, so you could do that too. 1 lemon, we'll just cut in half. We'll roast it in the pan too. It's nice to squeeze it on at the end. A little bit of butter to finish it off. I'm gonna sear in olive oil. Simple ingredients and a very simple process to make this dish, which we're gonna do right now. Okay, just a little bit of prep work to show you. Just if you have a shallot, okay, it has skin on it. You don't even need to like worry about both ends of it. You could just chop it off. Go like this. Just open it up, and then often it'll be just like an onion. It'll be like 1 edge, and I'll just tend to get rid of it. You can try to peel these like closer than an onion, but I still just will take off that last edge. You know, shallots are hit or miss. Sometimes your store will have good ones. Store by us didn't have good ones, so we had to go to another store to get them. If you can't find shallots, you could use onions for this too. Okay, lemon in half. Sometimes you get lucky, there's not that many pits. And then artichoke hearts, like this. So just make sure you have a sharp knife, and we're just gonna split them right through, like that. So it'll look really nice when we put them arranged in the pan when we roast everything. All right, so the chicken has already been salted. If yours isn't, salted on both sides. So right here we have roughly 2.5 pounds of chicken. Now the ingredients in this dish are salty with the olives, the marinated artichoke hearts. So I would say normally if you're just gonna do like a roasted chicken, I would go up to like 1.25% of the weight. So if you have 2.5 pounds here, okay, that's roughly 1,200 grams. At a 1% ratio, you would want 12 grams of salt. Okay, 1.25 would be 15 grams of salt. So because it's all the ingredients are salty, I salted this at about a 0.75 ratio, which is about 2 teaspoons of Diamond Crystal Kosher salt for this amount of chicken. You'll learn how to salt the more you cook, but if you could keep those ratios in mind, especially when you're learning in the beginning, you'll be fine. You know, you'll see, and it's not really on YouTube too much, but it's more on like TikTok and Instagram. You will see people dump the amount of salt that could give most people over 40 instant heart attack, you know, and they're like, oh, you know, like there's not enough seasoning on this, okay? So keep that in mind. You can destroy a dish very quickly. All right, so we got some pepper on that. I'm gonna put some of my herbs de Provence on this side. Now, since this chicken's very dry, it's not sticking so well, but we'll be able to get enough of it on there.
I am so excited that you're making this because the past couple of times that you did make it, I think every time I said, this is one of the best things that you've made. This to me, you know how I like hold your beef bourguignon?
Yeah.
It's like, this is like the chicken equivalent to me. And I guess I really like French cuisine.
You do, because I would say this is more of like a simple dish. Like I would say coq au vin, which I know I'm not saying right, coq au vin, whatever. that is more the equivalent of beef bourguignon.
No,
yeah.
No, you're right. I'm
Yeah.
saying for me, like when I'm like using like a measuring stick for your recipes, like I measure everything against the beef bourguignon. If I was going to taste test one of your chicken recipes, I would measure it against this one because this one to me is like the gold standard. Definitely make this dish.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good dish. That's why we're doing it. And you know, we did this. I think I made it last week or a week before. Normally, we don't do our timetable isn't that quick. Like we'll test it, we'll run it on the site for a few months to see how much views it gets, how much engagement, how many shares, and how many comments that people like it. And then we know, okay, it's worth making a video of. That's how we run things here, you know. And you know, just because Tara likes this doesn't mean that you're gonna love it and that the video is gonna do well, but it's worth a shot. And I think she's right. So if you like main course recipes, which I'm sure you do because you're watching this video, I want to let you know about our new cookbook, Sip and Feast Family Favorites. It has plenty of main courses in there. In addition to that, it has all the other sections you would expect to find in a cookbook. It is a beautiful cookbook, 256 pages, over 100 recipes, beautiful photo, nice instructions, good story in every single recipe. It has US customary and metric measurements, so everybody will be able to follow along with these easy recipes. Right above you is the link where you can buy it. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all other sellers. QR code if you're watching on TV, which I'm increasingly aware that the majority of you are watching on TV. It's also pinned in the comments and in the description. If you don't like cookbooks, you just like watching our videos, buy it for a friend or family who does. Thanks. All right, and then just take a piece of chicken and dredge it. Flour, okay, like this. You can put all the flour in a bag and do this even easier. Now I just put it on a parchment paper baking sheet. Parchment paper like this lined up is really good, especially if you're like say you're doubling or tripling this dish. Because if you put it all in a plate stacked on top of each other, everything's just gonna stick to each other. And I buy this parchment paper in like packs of 100 that fit a standard half sheet. So it's very easy. I don't have to like try to rip off parchment paper from a roll. All right, and the remaining flour, you know, if you can save it in the fridge and mark like it's touched chicken, and then you can use it for if you're gonna dredge chicken again or just toss it. All right, at this time you can set your oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit and just set the rack to about the middle level. I have a 14-inch stainless pan that we're going to sear the chicken in, and we will probably be able to fit all of the ingredients. If we can't, it's not a big deal. Say you don't have 14, say you're just using a 12, then you can put everything in a large baking pan, baking dish, okay? It's as simple as that. You'll put it in after you do your searing. All right, stainless, we're gonna heat this up to medium heat for about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, so that the chicken doesn't stick after we put our oil down. Just heat it up dry, don't put oil in right now. Okay, so our pan is nice and hot. Oil down, now I said 3 tablespoons of oil, just put enough oil to coat the bottom here, okay? We get a lot of questions about nutrition information. Is it accurate? Like when we put recipes out on our site, it is accurate. And a lot of times it's very high calorie, these dishes. You know, 1 tablespoon of olive oil is 120 calories. So this is not a health channel.
Well, a lot of people consider home-cooked food to be healthy. So maybe you should say it's not a low-calorie channel.
That might be a better way to describe it. So just leave them alone now. See, like with a 14-inch pan, you could fit all 8 of your thighs. If you had a 12, you're gonna have to do in batches. 12-inch pan is good for a restaurant, or 10-inch pan when they're cooking for one person, when they get an order. But for a home cook, it's paradoxical. You're like, I need a larger pan than a restaurant. Well, if you don't want to take forever to do a lot of these dishes, a 14-inch pan is better. I'm gonna let these go for about 6 to 8 minutes until they get really brown. After about 3 or 4, you can rotate them because this is a portable burner. The center is gonna be the hottest. So I could pull the chicken in the middle to the side and take the side ones and put it in the middle, right? Simple as that. All right, I just have my little splatter screen so it doesn't make too much of a mess. And it's been going about 5 minutes. I switched one into the middle. So one from the side in the middle. So that's how it looks right now. Whoop. That's how it looks. All right, that one can go out there now. Now you can see like one on the edge isn't as much, so I'll just stick that in the middle. But I'm gonna let these go and you can see like if you heat your pan up properly, everything will just skate around like this. A thing that you think is sticky becomes non-stick. So you just gotta heat it up first. Let it go for another 3 minutes. All right, so it's been about 8 minutes total. And you can see the chicken is beautiful. If I can use these tongs, everything keeps slipping. Oh yeah, this chicken looks amazing. That's all it is. Medium heat in a stainless pan, you get beautiful colored chicken. We're gonna let these go for just a few more minutes on this side. So that's been a few more minutes, it's good. Now listen, there's a lot of fat in the pan here. Okay, it's chicken fat from the chicken thighs and the olive oil I used. If this is too much for you, you can pour it out right now, which is fine. I'm gonna leave it, okay? Chicken stock, okay, keep your head back when you do this. It's gonna splash up immediately. That's a half a cup of chicken stock, no sodium. And then this is 3/4 cup of vermouth. Get in there a little bit. You can also take your thighs out if you need a little bit more space. Just scrape up all the brown bits at the bottom of the pan. Okay. Just the action of putting that down in the pan is going to remove most of them, dislodge them almost immediately. But you can see like how my pan is getting clear now. It's getting clean. Just bring this up to a simmer. All right, I'm just turning the heat up a little bit. Okay, I'm just gonna let that go for 1 minute. And really any dish that calls for dry white wine, you can use vermouth, but vermouth has more of a sweetness to it, I would say. Definitely the other way. So any dish that calls for vermouth, you can use dry white wine, but it won't have as much flavor as the vermouth. Turn it off. That's it. That's all you have to do. No evaporating it or anything like that, okay? The oven's gonna do the work for us, okay? And the juice is gonna absorb into the chicken, which is what we want. Now it's just a matter of getting everything to fit in here. Don't worry if everything is really crowded. It's still gonna work. Things are gonna shrink. So I'm gonna put the artichoke hearts in. I'm just trying to like distribute everything kind of like not all in the same spot. Okay, shallots, excuse me. These shallots, when they get roasted like this after, because we're gonna cook this for almost an hour in the oven. They get so delicious. Olives, just sprinkle them all around. And now this is the remaining bit of herbs de Provence. So even if you didn't put a lot on the chicken, you're sprinkling it on now again. So it's a total of 2 tablespoons of herbs de Provence in this. It works. You know, it might seem to you like a lot of seasoning, but it's the right amount for this dish. It's mild, it's not a strong herb mixture. Okay, and then lemon. Okay, just squeeze your lemon in wherever, in 2 different sections. It's really as simple as that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this in that 400-degree Fahrenheit oven for 30 minutes to roast, braise, whatever you wanna call it. We're right around that mark where it's gonna do both, okay? You're gonna get some evaporation here. It's gonna go into the chicken. Then after 30 minutes, remove it, spoon some of the sauce all on top of the chicken. So you're basting it again, okay? And you can even baste a little bit now beforehand, but I just do it in the halfway point. At that point, I'll have a little bit more room to get in there. All right, it's really as simple as that. Let's get this in there. All right, so that's been 30 minutes. Let's just see how it looks. Oh, it smells amazing. All right, that's after 30 minutes. I'm gonna take just maybe a piece or 2 out just so I can get to that sauce, that delicious sauce. All right, and I'm just gonna spoon some, baste that chicken with it. Don't worry, it's going back in for 20. So look, if your goal is to get these to be nice and crispy on top, you can even hit it at the end with a broiler, but you don't need to. I actually did the first time and got the chicken a little too brown on top, so today I won't even do that. They already look amazing. This is beautiful, like one-pan home cooking and easy. It is very hard to screw recipes like this up, especially when you're using chicken thighs or chicken legs. Okay, let's just baste that last one. I'll just turn it over for a second. There we go. Now it's basted. All right, we're gonna put this back in the oven for another 20. And then, I don't know if I said it in the beginning, you wanna have a loaf of crusty bread to get the remaining bit of sauce at the bottom. I'm just gonna put in 1 tablespoon of butter, roughly. There's plenty of fat in here already, so you don't even need to do this, but it'll richen it up even more. And I'll just let it kind of melt in there. You can take everything out into a platter and whisk in cold butter if you want, but you don't really have to. All right, James is here for Chicken Provencal. James, would you like a little bit of the lemon squeezed on, or you want to try it initially like that?
Let's have some red squeeze on.
He just gave a 10 to the previous dish. I made bar pizza. We always do 2 videos in one day. Give it a little bit of backstory.
This is actually really good.
Thank you. That's a shallot. They are delicious. Oh, and you're supposed to have crusty bread for it. You want a little piece for the sauce?
Yeah, sure. This is really good. The chicken's very good, like very tender. I really like artichoke hearts, like they're so good. So I like that. I love those little green olives. They taste really like so good. And yeah, I like the lemon on top. It's actually a pretty solid dish. I'll give it like a 9.
All right.
Wow.
I will take it. Yeah, chicken thigh dishes are difficult with James. He tends to rate them fairly low, which if you're, frequent viewer of the channel, you know. Basically, any of these roasted chicken dishes won't score as high as pasta or pizza, which is understandable. And that's not just how a lot of kids like his age are, that's how a lot of adults are, too.
No, but this is really good.
Thank you. You like the herbs de Provence in there? It's the seasoning. It's the seasoning. It's like a blend of like 6 different herbs. Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to add or not? Good?
Yeah.
You're a man of few words today. But I'll take the 10 and the 9 that you gave me today.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll always take you coming here and watching every week. We truly appreciate it, and we will see you next time.